Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of 22 Yards with Zayyen. So, Zayyen, today we are talking about two very interesting upcoming test series. The first is Pakistan's tour to England starting on August 19th, and the second is India's tour to Sri Lanka starting August 15th. You know what's really fascinating here is that I think these two Asian teams are facing almost completely opposite challenges. You will agree, right?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
Pakistan.
To all the viewers first. Apologies for
Yes,
that.
Assalamu alaikum. So Pakistan will essentially have to deal with seam, swing, movement, and the typical English conditions, while India will potentially be dealing with turning pitches, spin, and very different conditions in Sri Lanka. So Zain, the first very obvious question to you is which team has the tougher assignment here? Pakistan in England or India in Sri Lanka?
Okay, so once again, Assalamu alaikum and welcome to all the viewers. It's a very tough question to ask, but for me, I think Pakistan will definitely have a tougher assignment in terms of the series, and there are reasons to it because India going to Sri Lanka is going to be the similar kind of conditions, the environment, the weather, and India has been playing on these kind of pitches quite a lot in India as well. But on the other hand, अगर हम बात करें तो पाकिस्तान के लिए it is going to be a little different. Like you very rightly mentioned in your intro, that Pakistan will historically be having to play a lot of swing bowling, with a lot of bounce as well. So I personally believe that Pakistan will have more difficulties in the tour, in English tour than India will. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think with for Pakistan, you don't get much time to settle given the conditions.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I think we will be talking about that in our conversation going forward, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So does this mean, Pakistan potentially have more to gain, because England themselves are going through some changes?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Because you see, there are a lot of changes happening in English cricket team as well. I mean, they're not completely settled, and they've got a new captain, they've got a new coach as well. Ben Stoke is not there, and I believe Pakistan should not go with the mindset, of simply thinking of a survival. I think they should go out and have that belief in themselves that they can actually compete with this English team. Because, like I said, the English team themselves is not settled at the moment. They're transiting, in transition from one phase to another phase. So it's not going to be easy
Hmm.
for England as well at the same time. Yeah.
Hmm. Great, great. So let me ask you this, Zain. Pakistan are going into England after drawing the West Indies Test series, 1-1. They also managed to win that second test, which is, obviously very important for them, having actually, collapsed in the first test. So do you see signs that Pakistan are finally turning a corner in Test cricket?
Amber, first, let me be a little clear. I'll try and keep this conversation in Urdu, Hindi, and English, so that for a lot of our viewers will obviously
Sure.
understand what I'm trying to say here. So yeah, coming back to your questions, yes, were there were definitely positives in that series because after losing the first test, from West Indies, and the way Pakistan came back into this, in the second test, and the way they played, they would definitely get some confidence. But
Hmm.
at the same time, मैं ये भी कहूँगा कि just keep that in mind कि those were different conditions, and Pakistan should not get carried away with that. यहाँ पे इंग्लैंड में uh, conditions completely different होंगी. So if I have to put it in simple words, it's going to be a different kind of an exam or examination for team Pakistan. Conditions बहुत फर्क होंगी, quality बहुत ज़्यादा फर्क हो जाएगी bowling की, pitches बहुत ज़्यादा फर्क होंगी, यहाँ पे बॉल जो है ज़्यादा सीम और स्विंग करता है, बाउंस ज़्यादा होता है. So it's not going to be easy for Pakistan, considering the fact that the kind of the batting line of Pakistan has, if they collapse, and they can be a disaster. So pressure जरूर होगा पाकिस्तान पे, but having said that, प्रेशर सिर्फ पाकिस्तान पे नहीं होगा, प्रेशर जो है वो दोनों टीम्स के ऊपर होगा. बट yes, there are definitely, like I said at the beginning, there will be positive, there are positives. So Pakistan should take confidence from the previous series. And they cannot assume that because something worked there, it will automatically work in England as well. So confidence is another thing, but the same kind of the plan and everything might not work here.
Great, great. So, Zain, because you are, catering to a bilingual audience, I'm going to try and ask you some questions in Urdu as well. Please forgive
Yeah.
me if I'm not very confident on
Right.
that part. तो आप
Yeah.
ये कह रहे हैं कि वेस्ट इंडीज की विक्ट्री पाकिस्तान टीम को कॉन्फिडेंस देगी, बट इज दैट नेसेसरली लाइक अ ब्लूप्रिंट और अ प्लान फॉर देम?
See, when you talk about blueprint or confidence, yes, but no blueprint. Like I said, the conditions are going to be very different. The pitches are going to be very different. The bowling is going to be very different. They have English bowling has some good bowling attack. So you cannot say that blueprint, but yes, confidence a big yes.
हुँ। और ज़हीन एक और बात है, आप पाकिस्तान की बैटिंग के बारे में आप बहुत डिस्कशंस करते हैं। तो जेन्युइनली इज़ दिस समथिंग दैट वरीज़ यू द मोस्ट?
It does, Amber, to be honest, because we've seen it in the past. और अभी भी जो वेस्ट इंडीज की सीरीज हुई थी, दोनों टेस्ट मैचेस में we got to see that the way Pakistan batting collapsed. I mean, पहली इनिंग्स में तो बहुत ही बुरा हाल हुआ था. दूसरी इनिंग में भी जब बाबर आजम और अब्दुल्ला शफीक खेल रहे थे, after Babar got out, nobody could actually come and give the similar kind of a stand or build up that partnership. So that is a big concern for me. That is a huge concern for me. And I'm pretty sure that Pakistani bowlers are quite capable of taking those 20 wickets. But for the bowlers to defend, to take those 20 wickets, they need to have certain total on the score as well. You cannot just keep finding yourself in a situation where Pakistan team is 40 for 3 or 70 for 4 or 150 for 6, and then you expect the lower order to come and make some runs, and
डू
then
मिरेकल्स, या।
yeah, do miracles for you, and then you cannot expect the bowlers every time to come and rescue you out of that situation. But एक और जो बड़ा disadvantage मैं पाकिस्तान की बैटिंग में देखता हूँ, और डिफरेंट शोज पे भी हम बात करते रहते हैं, ये कि पाकिस्तान का जो टेल एंडर है वो भी फाइट नहीं शो करता. आई मीन द काइंड ऑफ फाइट द अदर टीम्स शो. मैं इस बारे में पहले भी बात कर चुका हूँ. सो टेल एंडर्स की जो एवरेज है पाकिस्तान की बैटिंग की, दैट्स 9 runs a wicket. So every 9 runs, a wicket falls for the tail ender. So it's not something which is good. एक जो लास्ट टेस्ट मैच था उसके अंदर साजिद खान ने रिजिलियंस जरूर शो की. उन्होंने 30 रन किए, एंड those 30 runs were, for me, were positioned Pakistan in towards the victory as well. So ये tail enders के runs करना कई दफा बहुत important होता है. But I'm not saying कि फिर ऊपर से batters score ना करें. The batters will have to take the responsibility. They have to make sure they score big runs. That's their responsibility to do so. But at the same time, the tailenders also need to have that kind of resilience and confidence that they can, push through the score. Yeah, so batting for me is a big question mark, and especially I don't know आगे आप इस बारे में बात करेंगी कि नहीं, but you know for Pakistan batting where the ball is seaming and swinging and seaming, I mean it becomes really difficult because our batters do have the tendency to play the balls outside the off stump, and I think that's something which they need to improve.
Hmm. Hmm. I get you. I get you, Zain. So, what's what's the key here technically? I mean, is it leaving the ball? Is it playing late, or is it just having patience and tolerance while you're out there?
See, Amber, I've always talked about this thing. When you're playing test match cricket, it's basically testing the overall game. And when I say the overall game, the most important thing is your patience, your technique, and your temperament and your fitness as well. So these 3 4 things are very important. And at the same time, you mentioned that in your question as well. कि technically क्या चीजें important होंगी? Leaving the ball, yes, leaving the ball is going to be very very important. Patience, yes, it's going to be very very important. और स्पेशली मैं समझता हूँ कि पहले 20-25 ओवर जो होते हैं ना, इस तरह की कंडीशंस में जहाँ पे बॉल सीम भी हो रहा हो, स्विंग भी हो रहा हो, वहां पर बैटर्स को बॉल लीव करना भी आना चाहिए. They need to you know they need to have that kind of a technique where they can actually let the ball go to the keeper as well, and let the bowler get frustrated. The best way to deal with such bowling attack is to frustrate them, and then
Mm.
make them bowl and come back, for a second spell. Because kya hota hai, the more they bowl, they're going to get tired, of course, and if you're not giving away wickets, they're going to get frustrated. So leaving outside, well outside the off stump, I'm not saying on the off stump, but well outside the off stump, they need to understand how to leave the ball. The second very important thing would be, play every ball right underneath your eyes.
Mm.
Just don't chase the balls. And once the ball gets older, they will definitely get to score runs. So and that will happen freely then, because the ballers are going to be tired, they're going to be frustrated, and you're not giving them the wickets. So temperament, technique, ये बहुत ज़्यादा important है.
Mm. And which perhaps isn't always Pakistan's natural instinct.
True, yeah, it is. I mean, that's exactly the issue. I mean, sometimes Pakistani batters, they try to force the game when the situation is not actually asking them to absorb the kind of pressure, it demands. So that is an issue with Pakistani batting.
It just seems like they try to force the game, when the situation is actually asking them to take the pressure. But
Absolutely, yeah.
moving on, I want to talk about obviously Captain Babar Azam. So
Okay.
whenever Pakistan plays a major series, naturally there's a huge amount of attention on him, and especially now that he's captain. So how important is this England tour for Babar? Personally and as a captain who's leading a team.
See, it's going to be very, very important for him. It's not just a series where they're just going to play. See, Babar is a big name for Pakistan cricket. And on top of that, it's his second inning as a captain. I mean, the same way it is for Joe Root. I mean, Joe Root की तो ये पहली series होगी after a long time. बाबर तो फिर एक West Indies की series खेल के आ रहे हैं as a skipper, and he's done some good job as a captain as well. So अगर आमिर फाजों में बात करें, it's not simply about people wanting him to score hundreds. Um, I think Baba will need to play a more important role, a more important innings. Instead of Pakistan, imagining Pakistan 30 for two or 40 for three, something like that. He has to bat for longer period of time, and that is very important. He's somebody who can actually, I mean, we've seen it in the West Indies series as well. He's somebody who can take Pakistan from 30 runs or 40 runs, two downs or three down, to 230 or 300 or something like that. So it's going to be very very important for Babar Azam to show again. He's done it over and over time. He has to show it again. As a captain, he has to lead from the front. As a batter, he has to lead from a front. So it's going to be very very important for Babar Azam, and I'm pretty sure people are going to put him under a lot of pressure as well.
Yeah. So do you think this is one of those series where he needs to remind people why he is considered one of Pakistan's elite and best batsmen?
Yes, I mean, obviously. I mean, England is one of those places where you perform, people will remember it, because in English conditions are not easy. Please forgive me for that. English conditions are not easy. The ball will swing, the ball will seam, and it carries a lot of weight. So yeah, I think it's gonna be very important for him.
All right, cool. Now let's talk about who should be the one to open. Zain. So let's move to selection. Who opens for Pakistan? Abdullah Shafiq appears to have strength, and so who do you think would partner with him?
See, Amber, it's very interesting, and this is a topic which is quite open, I must say, because well, people want Abdullah Shafiq to open the batting. Then, do you want Aves to bat at number two? So as a one down. So that's a big debate. But in my opinion, I think you know. Um Abdullah should bat at number three because he's gained confidence at that number during the West Indies series, and let's not change his position at this point of time. Let Imam and Awais open the innings. Although Awais does have the tendency of fishing the ball outside the off stump, but at the same time, you would want to have two of your main batters, being a little protected as well, because just in case अगर ऊपर से विकेट जल्दी नहीं गिरती है, तो आपके पास नीचे दो बड़े एक्सपीरियंस्ड और टेक्निकली साउंड बैटर होने चाहिए जो इनिंग्स को और वहां से बड़ा बिल्ड कर सकें. तो आई थिंक इमाम एंड अवैश शुड ओपन द बैटिंग. Abdullah should bat in number three, and then Babar should come, and so on. Yeah.
So what if you were selecting the side? I mean, would you still have the same opinion?
Yes, yes, I would considerably do the same kind of thing. I would have the Imam and West open the innings for Pakistan, and Abdullah and Babar to come later on.
Hmm. Okay, let's flip the discussion now. Let's look at the bowling. So Pakistan's bowlers must be really looking at England and thinking, yeah, we can enjoy these conditions.
You're talking about the Pakistani bowlers?
The bowlers, yes, the Pakistani bowlers.
Yeah, so see, Amber, if you're talking about the Pakistani bowlers, my pick of the bowlers in the fast bowling department would be Mohammad Abbas. Um, he's going to be very interesting. I mean, he's going to show a lot of experience over there because he plays a lot of cricket out there. Although he does not have that kind of a pace, which any spectator would want to see. He bowls somewhere around 130, 127, 125. He does not have that bowling pace of 140, 145. But at the same time, he's somebody who's very consistent, and he puts the ball in the very right kind of an area, where he'll get the movement, he'll get the team to do things for him. So Abbas is somebody who I would be looking forward to from a Pakistani perspective because he's very accurate. He has the variety and he has the experience to put English batters in a lot of difficulties.
So would he be one of your first names in your playing 11?
A doubt, without a doubt. I think he deserves to play all three test matches in England because uh, although in England, ball moves early on, but later on it tends to get slightly on the batting side. But I would still want to have a bowler like Abbas in my playing 11.
Hmm. What about Khurram Shehzad, Muhammad Ali, Ubaid Shah, Amir Jamal? How do you balance the attack?
Uh, See, the Pakistan team has to get it right. But at the same time, you need to have the variety. See, if you're playing with two fast bowlers in England, and if you have one as Abbas, or if you want to play with three fast bowlers, like I said early on, I mean the first test and the third test, I think the first test mainly the ball is going to do a lot more. And if you play with three fast bowlers and one spinner or two spinner, I think I would want to go with Abbas. Then I would want to go with Muhammad Ali. And I would want to give this new lad a chance, Ubaid Shah, because with his pace, maybe he can make that difference as well. Because at the same time, I do agree that in fact, I mentioned मैंने अभी बात भी की है कि accuracy is very, very important. तो वो Muhammad Ali and Abbas can take care of that, and Ubaid Shah should just be played for a reason that he could be a wicket taker. Sometimes it is important.
Hmm. 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 And I think you need
That
to
would
have
be my.
the right mix as well.
Sorry.
I think you need to have the right mix of your bowlers for a more I wouldn't say lethal, for a more efficient and effective bowling attack, because if every bowler is doing exactly the same thing, I think
Exactly.
eventually the batsman would adjust, and then you'd be left with
Yeah. See, the
you know
thing is, Amber,
lot
I
of
mean,
runs.
pace Abbas has or Muhammad Ali has, they bowl somewhere between 125 to 135, and sometimes you need to have that kind of a bowler who can hit the deck really hard. And, Muhammad Ali, sometimes he does. Abbas, he's somebody who will, you know, he will focus on pitching the ball in the right areas, moving it away, moving it in, bowling with varieties, so things like that. But you need to have somebody who can hit the deck hard as well. Like Jofra Archer is one example in English team.
Hmm.
So I think for that kind of a combination, you very rightly mentioned that you cannot have all the bowlers of the similar category, or the similar mindset. You need to have somebody who's quick. Sometimes he can beat you by his pace. So you need to have that kind of a bowler in your lineup as well. So that's why Obecha is my pick with Muhammad Ali and Abbas.
So, Zayin, would you play one spinner or two spinners for the England tour?
सी एम्बर इट ऑल डिपेंड्स. ये सारी चीज़ें जो है ना, ये बहुत ज़्यादा डिपेंड करती हैं ऑन द पिच, ऑन द कंडीशन. If if the pitch is going to support spinners, I would definitely want to go with two spinners. I wouldn't mind going with two spinners. But if the pitch is not supporting the spinners, then it doesn't make sense to go with two spinners. I think then one spinner should be enough. And if I have to pick one spinner, if Pakistan team is going with one spinner, the spinner I would go with is going to be Sajid Khan.
Hmm. Not Usman Ali, or both.
See, if you have an option, like I said, if the pitch is offering that kind of support to the spinners, then yes, obviously I would want to go with the both. I would want to go with both these boys. But if the pitch, the wicket is not supporting the spin as much as they would both want to play on, then I think Sajid Khan would be a better choice because he's got that kind of aggression. Although Ali Usman, I'm not saying he's not a good bowler. He's proven himself during the West Indies series where the ball was spinning. He supported Sajid really well. But with Sajid, he's got the aggression which normally I've spoken about it in the past in different shows, that he's got the kind of aggression a fast bowler has. So sometimes that aggression, gets you the kind of wickets you want. I mean, they can frustrate the batter. He's always talking. He's always you know looking into the eyes of the batter, creating those kind of difficulties for them, putting them under pressure. So I would want to go with Sajid that way.
Okay. Zain, when we started this conversation, you said that Pakistan shouldn't be traveling or, getting into this test match with a survival mentality. You know,
Right.
why?
Yeah.
I mean, why do you think the English are vulnerable?
See, I told you, I've mentioned that in the beginning as well of our conversation. England is also going through a transition themselves. And whenever a team is changing personal roles, there's always an uncertainty, and Pakistan needs to recognize that. And मेरा जहाँ तक जाती ख्याल है, they should be thinking like this कि हम यहाँ से क्यों नहीं जीत सकते? Why can't we win from here? So that's the reason England is also a little vulnerable. But at the same time, obviously it's going to be their home crowd, their home ground, their home conditions. They will have a little bit of an edge, but Pakistan should not worry about all those things. But they should also focus on the part where that England is vulnerable right now, and they do have a chance, and they can win the series from here, provided the Pakistani batters support the team the way it should.
So let me put you on the spot here, Zain. Is this Pakistan's best opportunity in years to win a test series in England?
It's too early to say, but I certainly think it's one of the better opportunities. Like I said in the previous answer as well, but only if the batting stands up. I mean, you cannot expect the bowlers to do wonders for you all the time. So the batting has to click, especially in the conditions like England. Remember one thing: England batters, if we bowl well, they'll try to put a big total and put Pakistan under pressure, because we all know that Pakistan team can get in under pressure very quickly and they can crumble. It's like a dominoes effect. We've spoken about it in the past. So ये चीजों को पाकिस्तान को बेहतर करना पड़ेगा, especially with the new batting coach coming in. I would say all he has to do is to make sure that you cannot correct the team technique here. All you have to do is make sure that they do not fish outside the off stump. They need to spend more time on the wicket, you know and they will get the opportunity to score runs. At the same time, you don't absolutely see, England is a kind of place where you, if you have the right kind of technique, you can score big runs, and that's something Pakistan has done in the past as well. But with this team, with the current team, I don't want to sound pessimist. There are situations we've seen in the in the West Indies series as well, that Pakistani batting crumbled. So I don't want that to happen. I want to see a good fight by both the teams, and let's not worry about the results later. Yeah.
So, a burning question,
Mm.
Joe Root. I mean, he's the formidable one. How does Pakistan, or do you think they have a plan to stop him?
Obviously they will definitely have a plan, and but they need to have a very clear plan. I mean, they cannot just let Joe Root settle down, because once he's settled, he's going to make a huge difference. It's just like he's just like Babar Azam, if I have to compare both of them. They both love to spend time on the wicket, and the moment they're settled, then they're very difficult batters to remove. So what I would say is that again, Abbas is going to play a very major role here, because the moment he comes in, the I mean, Babar needs to make sure that Abbas comes into the attack early, doesn't let him settle, ball full length, bring him forward. The more you bring him forward, the more he'll try and play the ball, and the more he'll try and play the ball. Before the batter even settle down, there's always a vulnerability. कोई भी दुनिया का बैटर हो, जब तक आपका जो है आप सेटल नहीं हो पाते, आपकी आई सेट नहीं होती, तब तक इट्स ऑलवेज डिफिकल्ट. एंड द बेस्ट वे टू गेट जो रूट आउट इज ball full length, attack the stumps, and make him make a mistake.
Because he has amazing resilience, and he easily converts his runs into 50s and 50s into hundreds. So he has that, you can say, this extraordinary grit and focus while playing under pressure. And if Root has a huge series, you know
Hmm.
Pakistan are probably in trouble, I guess.
Oh, yes, definitely. Because if he settles down, if he's scoring big runs, I mean, put it this way: if he scores 400 to 500 runs in this series, it's going to be very difficult for Pakistan to win the series from here, from that point of view. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
him or
So,
Babar scoring big runs is going to put the other team under a lot of pressure.
So, Zain, a quick rapid fire before we actually move on to discussing India's tour to Pakistan.
Yeah, I would love
Um,
to do that as well. I'm eagerly waiting to discuss India's tour to Sri Lanka.
yeah, so I mean, like I said, just a quick fire. Yeah, Pakistan's highest run scorer,
Obviously, Babar Azam.
highest wicket taker,
Obviously, in my books, it's going to be Abbas.
player under the most pressure at this point.
I think. Are we just talking about Pakistan, or are we talking about England as well?
Uh, Particularly Pakistan.
Okay, but I want to answer for both the countries here. Um,
Okay, go ahead.
if you permit me, please. So, from
Yeah,
Pakistan
of
point of view,
course.
I think Babar is going to be a little under pressure because it's his comeback series and a big series against England. The expectations are going to be very high from him. And similarly, I think Joe Root is going to be under a lot of pressure as well at the same time. This is my opinion, people. Please don't take it literally. This is my opinion. You might have a different opinion. Same way, Joe Root is going to be under immense pressure because this is his second inning as a captain as well. The team is transitioning from one phase to another phase. So I think these two brilliant batters are going to be, scrutinized a lot. So they'll be under a lot of pressure.
Mm. Can Pakistan win a test?
One liner, one word. What do you want?
It's rapid fire, so
So
it better
yes,
be short.
it's yes.
Yes. And can they win the series?
Yes, but again, please permit me to say one sentence for this. If the Pakistani batting clicks,
Okay, so
if
there's
the
still a
bat,
caveat. There's still a caveat that if it clicks for them, then yes. Otherwise, it's a no.
yeah, see, because there
Or maybe.
there will be situations around it. I mean, if you if you're feeling, I mean, just one last thing before we move on. If Pakistani cricket fans or Pakistani cricket team believes that their bowlers are going to just rescue them every time and win them test matches, I do believe in winning test matches by taking 20 wickets, but that does not mean that the batters will not have to perform. They will have to play their part. They have to be consistent in scoring runs and supporting their bowlers.
Hmm. Cool. So that's Pakistan dealing with the moving ball. Now let's travel from England to Sri Lanka, where India will be taking on Sri Lanka from August 15th. But then
Yeah.
suddenly we're talking about an almost a different and almost opposite problem. So in s- in Sri Lanka, instead of surviving seam and swing, India could be facing a ball turning sharply from fairly
Oh
early in the
yes.
test,
Oh
and
yes.
India, and mind you, India are doing it without their star bowler Jasprit Bumrah.
It's a huge, huge setback for Team India. You know, a bowler like
You
Jasprit
think so?
Bumrah. Pardon?
I mean, you think it's a huge setback for
It
India?
is.
I mean, how
It is.
much does
It
that
is.
change things?
See, I keep saying this thing again and again, and I will not hesitate in saying it again. I think 80% of the bowling load is being carried by Jasprit Bumrah.
Hmm.
He is a star bowler. I mean, he's one of the best in the cricketing world as we speak. You know, he's one of the best in today's cricketing world. So, um, not having him in your side, I think it's a huge setback. It's going to, make a huge difference, because the home the host Sri Lankans will be jumping up and down, knowing that I'm sure they know that Bumrah is not playing this series, and they have a fair bit of chance of grabbing this opportunity and trying to win the series as well from here.
Hmm. So,
Yeah.
I mean, who do you think is Gill's emergency button now? I mean, when nothing is happening, Bumrah always, creates a wicket, and I mean, what is Gill going to do when he needs someone to step up?
See, I think it's Shami is also there, if I'm not mistaken. Let me please go back and check if Shami is playing. Uh, Otherwise, Kuldeep Yadav is an amazing bowler. He's a wicket taker.
Hmm.
So I think he's going to be another, a wicket taker for him. He's going to be somebody who will definitely get you wickets. He's not Shami, it's Siraj. So Siraj is somebody who's experienced. So if you're talking about
Hmm.
fast bowlers, so I think Siraj is going to be one person who can actually, take wickets for you. But spin, Kuldeep Yadav is another. He's another. You know, he's a spinning Bumrah
Hmm.
for me.
Yeah, because Kuldeep Yadav can turn out to be a match
Absolutely, and
winning or game
I must
changer.
say, I was really surprised during the English series when India was, touring England. I so wanted to see this boy, play in England. He would have, trust me, with him and Bumrah playing together, it would have been there would have been different results for Team India.
Yeah,
There
the
probably
outcome would have been very different.
yes. See, because Indian bowling gave a lot of runs, and then obviously, but you cannot just chase everything. Especially when you've got bowling lineup like England with Jofra Archer, then you've got Tongue, then you've got new guys, Gus Atkinson. They're quick, and they know the conditions really well.
Let's talk about Shubman Gill. This is an interesting series for him as a captain, Zayyen.
Yeah.
So, what specifically will, Sri Lanka test about his leadership?
Well, there are a lot of things. So when you're playing on a spinning wicket, your tactics as a captain, in spinning conditions are very different than how you are playing on a batting track or a supporting track. So you have to you have to make decisions, when to bring your close catchers in, when should I give the ball to Kuldeep, or when do I rotate the bowling, where do I use Jadeja, or how do I attack, or how do I contain. So it's going to be very tactical for him. So he will be tested in this series, because it's not just a batting track where you come, irrespective of the fact how well your bowling lineup is or your batting lineup is, you have a similar kind of a field, not very attacking or not very defensive, somewhere moderate. You can attack whenever you want, you can be defensive whenever you want. But in these kind of situations and circumstances where the ball is turning too much, he has to be more, um, you know he needs to have more presence of mind, and needs to be more tactically strong. So this is going to be a real tester for him, in my opinion, for Shubman Gill. His captaincy skills are going to be tested here.
So this is, less about motivating players and more about actually reading the game.
Exactly. I mean, reading the conditions well, reading the wicket, reading the batsman, knowing when to attack, when to be a little on the back foot. So it's more of that. But obviously, you also need to motivate your players by talking to them all the time.
Zain, let's talk about India's spin options. Let's see what India have. So they have Jadeja, they have Kuldeep, they have this new guy Manav Sutar, and they have Saransh Jain. So you've got two veterans, you've got two newcomers. That's quite a collection.
It is. It is. I mean, that's why India goes into Sri Lanka with a strong position. For me, like I mentioned earlier, Kuldeep is especially very interesting. He's somebody who can win you games. Remember one thing, in olden days, the kind of bowler Kuldeep is, they used to be called Chinaman bowlers, but now the term has been changed. Now they're called left arm wrist spinners or left arm leg spinners. So it is always very difficult, to play such bowlers, because they will have different angles, they will have different trajectory, and they will create different kind of problems for the batters, especially a bowler like Kuldeep, because he's got the variety. So for me, he's going to be your wicket taker.
So you're saying he could be the wicket taker. What about Ravindra Jadeja? Is Jadeja perhaps India's most important player on this tour?
He is going to be very, very important. See, I think he's making a comeback into the test side after a long time. And, he actually gives a lot of balance to the Indian side, because he can bat well, he can bowl well, and he is a tremendous fielder. So he's somebody who, if I'm the captain, irrespective of the fact whether it's a spinning track or it's supporting the fast bowlers, I would want to have a player like Jadeja in my side.
And where would you bat him?
Depending on the conditions, but I would still say he should bat at anywhere between number 6 and 7. But if the wicket is really difficult, and because he's technically also very good, so if you think that the wicket is really difficult, you can move him a bit higher as well.
And where would you actually go with three frontline spinners at Gaul?
Come again?
I said, if you're talking about spinners, where would you actually go with three frontline spinners at Gaul?
So possibly, I mean, again, look at the pitch, but Gaul is exactly the venue where you seriously consider it. So
So
that's
Jadeja, Kuldeep, and Sutar, would that be
e-
your pick?
this would be a tempting combination, I must say.
And only one
Right.
specialist fast bowler?
Yes, potentially, but that's interesting. As I mean, that's debatable as well.
Let's talk about Sarfaraz Khan. Sai Sudarshan, being unavailable has opened the door for Sarfaraz Khan. Would you play him?
I would seriously consider it, particularly because of the ability he has, the way he plays spin bowling, and Sri Lanka isn't necessarily the place where you simply select your generic best 11. You select batsmen who are equipped and who can challenge the situation.
So perhaps Sarfaraz ahead of Padikal?
Possibly. But this is a selection I would watch very closely. I would see how India wants to go about it.
Let's talk about Rishabh Pant. He seems almost built for a series like this because A spinner wants to settle into rhythm, and Pant usually refuses to let that happen.
See, he's a very different kind of a player. I mean, you're very right about it. He could be incredibly dangerous. A spin bowling. A spinner can bowl beautifully for an hour, and Punt will come in and he'll smack you around the park, and he will suddenly change your line and length, and he'll start make you to start think differently. But at the same time, he could be very vulnerable as well. Because sometimes when it's his day, he will be connecting it, but on the days when he's not doing well, he can get your side into trouble as well by just throwing away his wicket.
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about Jaiswal and KL Rahul. I mean, what about their opening combination? Do they complement each other in these conditions?
I think it's going to be a very good combination. Jiswal can put pressure on the bowler, and Rahul can obviously occupy the crease. He's a senior, he's a veteran cricketer, I must say. KL Rahul, and he's proven it over the years. So I think it's going to be a good contrast of
Hmm.
them batting together in the batting.
So would you want Jaiswal attacking the spinners?
Yes, but then again, he has to be very intelligent. He has to be make sure that in conditions like Sri Lankan pitches, you need to use your feet, and you need to use your feet really well. Then you need to sweep the ball when it's appropriate. Just simply don't slog. Attacking cricket is not about slogging. So I want to make this thing very clear. A lot of people think that attacking cricket is all about slogging the ball. It's not about slogging. It has to be the controlled aggression. You can use your feet, but go down to the pitch of the ball. Make sure even if it turns, you don't get beaten by it. You can take it on your pads, or you take it on your body. And play with the technique. Sweep where it's required, but just don't outrightly go there and start attacking the bowler without even understanding the wicket, understanding the conditions, how much the ball is turning, and just going out there and trying to score quick runs. That would be my advice to him.
Zain, generally I sometimes feel that people talk about an India tour of Sri Lanka as though India just have to arrive and win. That's dangerous, isn't it?
Very dangerous. Sri Lanka, understands those conditions better than anybody else. You have players like Dhananjaya, uh, the Mandis, the Nisanka,
Nisaka.
and yeah, Nisanka and Jasuria. So they know exactly how the home conditions are, and it's not going to be very easy for Team India as well.
So is there anything that worries you the most here?
Jasuria with the ball, Mandis with the bat, of course.
And how should India play Jayasuriya? Just because it's trying to survive him for hours probably isn't your answer.
No, no. I mean, they'll need to be a little more intelligent while playing him. They'll need to disrupt him. They'll need to use their feet as and when required. Rotate the strike. See, the batter always kills the morale of a bowler when they're rotating strike. Even if they're not getting that kind of, they're not getting the boundaries, but they're able to rotate the strike. That's where the bowler gets frustrated. So this is going to be very important, because the more they rotate the strike, the more they use their feet, the more this I mean if and when required, they sweep him, and again, end of the day, rotate the strike. They're going to make him change his length, and the moment they do that, it's going to be a win-win situation for Team India.
So who do you think is best equipped to unsettle him? Jayasuriya.
You mentioned both those names before. Obviously, Pant is one, Jaiswal, and not to forget Jadeja. He
Jadeja.
could, yeah, he's someone who can change his gears very quickly.
Hmm. So Zain, here's a simple one. Gill wins the toss at Gal. Should he
Hmm.
bat first? What do you think he's going to
Now,
do?
uh, with the kind of wicket we've seen in the past as well, I would say yes. Get your runs in first as much as you can, because the more the wicket you play on that pitch, it's going to dry. The cracks will open up, and it's going to get very uncomfortable in the later innings.
Hmm. I think
Like I said, in the West
same
Indies,
as the West Indies. Yeah.
yes, like I was about to say that, like the same way I said about West Indies, it's very difficult to bat fourth in West Indies. I would, if I am the captain, I will win the toss and want to bat here first.
And you don't think he should overthink it? Yeah, he should just go for the batting.
Absolutely. Just don't need to be too complicated about it. Just put runs on the board and let the other team, come and make mistakes on your bowling, spin bowling.
On
And
bowling, yeah,
I mean,
sure.
you've got a world class spin bowler with you. So I don't think he should be worried about it. Just go out there, bat, put some runs on the scoreboard, and bat with an open mindset. Because when you're batting second, there's another thing that you have to, you're targeting a score. You have a score.
Yes.
Target score on your scoreboard as well. So you have to, reach that and score more runs from that to take that lead. So he won't have anything of that sort. And with this, a lot of new lads coming into Indian cricket as well, bat with a free mind, score as many runs as you can, and try and get Sri Lanka out before that. Take that lead and move on.
Then I think it's also playing without that initial pressure of trying to, like you said, get those runs,
Yeah.
and then make some more after that. So it does help if he would bat first. Now, rapid fire. Okay,
Oh,
your
okay.
quick
With
predictions.
India, Sri Lanka as well.
Yeah, yeah. I want to do one with India, Sri Lanka as well. So,
Okay.
your predictions. India's the highest run scorer.
My opinion, it's going to be Shubman Gill, or if Jadeja bat up in the order, I think Jadeja. So these two,
Your highest wicket taker.
without a doubt, Kuldeep Yadav.
You do like the lad, don't
I
you?
love this lad. I mean, he's a wonderful bowler. He's a wicket taking bowler. I think a captain would be insane to not have him in his playing 11, whether the conditions support him or they don't support him. I would still want to go with the bowler like Kuldeep Yadav.
India's X factor
Obviously, Rishabh Pant or Jaiswal.
and Sri Lanka's biggest threat.
I've mentioned that before. Jasuria.
India wins the series.
Yes, they will, but it's not going to be easy.
Okay, 2-0.
Now that's you're asking for too much now.
Yeah, I think Sri Lanka deserves
I think they deserve more
some
respect.
respect
See,
at home.
I'll tell you something, Amber. Um, Teams like Sri Lanka, West Indies, England are very difficult to play in their home conditions.
Mm,
So India wins. Yes, I see India winning, because and that too because of one or two bowlers and one or two batters. But otherwise, the series is going to be very difficult. There could be a high possibility. I mean, this was a rapid fire, but if I have to explain it, there could be a high possibility the series can be drawn 1-1, or with Sri Lanka. They're also very unpredictable side. Sri Lanka is also a very unpredictable side. They can,
yeah.
yeah. So they can actually win both the test matches as well. But in the rapid fire, if you ask me, India wins. Yes, is my answer. But if I have to
So
explain it, there is a lot more debate we can go into.
So no, I think we've gone over the key aspects of both test matches. We've gone through the players, their strengths, their weaknesses. So let's finish this by bringing both a series together. I'm going to give you two options. You choose one. Okay,
Hmm.
the harder
Again,
tour.
rapid
Pakistan.
fire.
Just have to
Isn't
choose
that too
one. Come
many
on.
rapid fires?
No, no, no. I think this is just the start of the whole rapid fire thing. But
Oh, okay.
but yeah, just choose one. Okay, the harder tour: Pakistan and England or India and Sri Lanka.
Obviously, Pakistan and England.
Mm. Mm, the more dangerous bowling attack for the conditions: Pakistan seamers or India spinners
Okay, so you're being very particular. Seamers from Pakistan or spinners from India? Then I would say
from India.
spinners from
So
Okay.
the more vulnerable batting lineup: Pakistan against seam or India against spin.
I hate to say this, but Pakistan against seam.
The captain who's more under pressure: Babar or Gill.
Do I have to pick one, or I can take both the names?
No, I think, come on, I gave you two names. You gotta pick who. You gotta pick one.
I think they both are going to be under a lot of pressure.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah. It's not going to be an
Okay.
easy series for both of them because, like I said, I mean, Babar, there's a lot of expectation. Same with Gill, a lot of expectations from him. And then he has to be. Why Gill a little? I would probably say Gill a little more because he has to prove himself as a tactical skipper.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So the player who will most likely dominate, his series now, is it
Talking about.
Babar? I'm talking about either series.
Okay.
I just need one player here. So is it you can pick two if you want. So is it Babar, Gill, Pant, Root, Kuldeep, or Abbas?
Okay. So I will pick two batters and two bowlers. Please allow me to do
Okay.
that. I
Okay.
think
Okay.
Joe Root and Babar will be my safest answer. Then from the bowlers, I think Kuldeep Yadav, without a doubt, his name comes first to me every time. And then Mohammad Abbas.
Mm, mm-mm. So from these two teams, Zayn, which Asian team is more likely to win its away series?
That's a tricky one. So you're talking about now. In fact, there are three Asian teams: Sri Lanka, India, and Pakistan. So who are you talking
No,
about?
no, I'm talking about the away series.
Okay, the away
The
series.
Asian team to win the away series because Sri Lanka is playing home. So I'm talking about Pakistan playing England, playing away series in England, and India playing away in Sri Lanka.
You put me on the spot. I want Pakistan to win, but if I look at it the other way around, I think India will. It's easier for India to win. Yeah,
Let's keep our fingers crossed for that. So
but that does
Pakistan
not mean,
will.
please let me say this. Let me complete this. Otherwise, I will get a lot of trolling. But that does not mean that I don't want Pakistan to win. Obviously, my wish and my prayers will always be there for Pakistan, and I would love to see Pakistan win against England, a vulnerable England side at the moment.
That's smart. You're playing around with words. Anyway, Pakistan win at least one test in England,
Of course,
and India win at Gaul.
tricky one, but with Kuldeep, I will say yes.
Another tricky one. Do you think Babar will score 100?
Oh, without a doubt, he's in immense
Oh,
form right now.
you think so?
Oh yes.
What about Gill?
If he bats himself in and does not play those loose shots, sometimes he has a tendency of doing that. So I think he's somebody who can score big runs.
Do you think Kuldeep takes 5-4?
Without a doubt, man. What are you talking about?
Mohammad Abbas?
Very possible. Very much possible. He's somebody who understands the conditions very well. He's played in England for a very long time, so he understands the conditions. He understands these players, so very much possible for him as well.
Mm-mm. So, guys, there you have it. We've got two Asian teams, two really good Asian teams, two completely different challenges. Pakistan will have to survive swing, seam, and the constant examination of their batting technique in England. On the other hand, India will have to deal with spin, deteriorating pitches, and a Sri Lanka side that knows those conditions extremely well. But Zayn, one final question,
Again, okay.
before yes, one final question. If you had to pick just one thing that decides each series, what would it be? Let it be short and sweet.
So if I had to pick just one thing that decide each series,
Yeah.
I think for Pakistan it's going to be batting. If Pakistan scores run anything over and above 300 runs, they can compete with England because they have the kind of bowling attack Pakistan would want to. And for India, I think they'll have to play the spinners really well. And if the Indian batters play the spinners really well, India will win the series.
Simple enough, Zain. Thank you so much. Now we want to hear from you, our audience. Who has
Okay.
tougher assignment? Pakistan in England or India in Sri Lanka? Can Pakistan win the series? And will India dominate Sri Lanka, or are we underestimating the home side here? Leave your prediction in the comments. And if you enjoyed today's discussion, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and join us again for some more cricketing conversations. I'm Amber,
And I'm Zayyen,
and
and this
this
is
is
20.
22 Yards with Zayyen.
Thank you. We'll
We'll
see
see
you
you next
until.
time.
Take care. Bye. Uh, okay. I'm sorry. I think we've got this one comment I would like to take, if you don't mind. Sorry, guys. So the match between India and Sri Lanka is India's 600 Test match after Australia and England became third team to play 600 Test matches. Well, that's an information. Thank you for sharing that with us. Please do share these kind of information with us, and if you have any questions, we are more than happy to take your questions as well in between the show. But thank you so much and for sharing this kind of information with us and our audience. Thank you.
Yeah,
Now,
Zain, it's always so nice to have the audience give you little bits of trivia. So
yeah,
because obviously we human, we are not expected to be cricketing encyclopedias, although we do our best. But
yeah,
we really appreciate them taking the time to give us this information. So thank you very much, and we'll see you soon with another very exciting conversation on cricket, the game we all love.
perfect. Until next time, take care. Bye.
Bye bye.